Okay, so everything that you're going to need for the final exam is going to be here, and I'm going to put it here in just a second. The first thing I wanted to do was to randomize who's going to do what. Here's our different categories that you're going to be breaking PCs in, and you can see them down the side, and everyone's going to do 2 PCs, so I'm just going to, in the interest of being fair, I'm going to copy that and go ahead and randomize it so you guys can all be sure that you know that I was fair and randomized it for you. So I'm going to throw all the names in there, randomize them, and then take them right back out and put it in my spreadsheet so you can see what everyone's going to get assigned. So there we go. There's our assignments. In fact, let me do this and rearrange the whole thing by name here. So we can now see what Adam's going to have 2 breaks that way, Brandy's going to have those 2 breaks, Chris is going to have those 2 breaks, Jake's going to have those 2 breaks, Mr. Turner, Mr. Bachman, and Mr. Green. So that's the assignments of what you're going to have, and I'm going to go ahead and post that. And the reason I'm doing this video is that you know that I did all this fairly, and I'm going to show you where everything is as we go. Okay, so now under the final exam section it says break assignments, and those are the assignments that we just made for you for the items that you have to break a PC related to. In other words, Adam has to break a CD-ROM. Breaking doesn't mean physically breaking, although it can mean. It could mean that you mess up the data cable going to the CD-ROM. Don't cut the power supply cables because that could be a safety factor. But in the case of that, it's you could mess up the IDE cable, you could mess up the jumpers, you can remove the jumper, or you could disable the CD-ROM entirely, depending on which one. And so that's what it means by the area related to the problem area. His other one is obviously power supply, which means he could just disable the power supply by removing the P4 connector to the motherboard. He could get a bad power supply. I've been keeping bad power supplies back for that. So those are the 2 areas that he's got. So then the final exam, here's how the final exam is going to work. It's a little more organized this year, I'll say that. So you click on final exam, and I want you to start working on this today. There are 3 parts to the final exam. The first one is the write-up. Okay, so it says part 1, this part of the explanation of the problem being created as well as the intended troubleshooting steps. This is the part that's going to get the most grade for you. I want you to write out just like this one. Here's an example one for you. And I want you to copy and paste this and edit it as required. Problem area, for instance, if Adam had a bad power supply. The PC problem that you're going to induce. For instance, I put in a bad PC power supply into the PC, or a bad PC power will be put in. What are the indications that you are expecting the tech to see? In this case, the PC will not boot up and no external indications will be present. That's, in this case, what you'll see. And then the user write-up that you intend to put basically is just, my PC will not start. And then the bigger factor is, what do you expect the troubleshooting steps to be that your student or the tech student or the hardware student is going to take? So number 1, you expect them to hook up the PC and try it out. Number 2, and it won't work obviously. And step 2, you expect them to open the PC after seeing there's no indication of boot. You expect them to check all physical connections to make sure everything is hooked up correctly inside the PC. Then you expect them to check the power supply unit itself and find that it fails. Then you expect them to replace the power supply unit. They're going to have to purchase one from me, replace and install it. Then they should see the PC start normally. Then they should run the standard Ultimate Boot CD tests on the PC, and then the repair should be complete. And you should be able to walk through here and tell me, if I had this, here's the troubleshooting steps I would take. And like I said, this is the biggest graded portion for you. Then part 2 is you will create a work order for each PC you do, so everybody's going to do 2, and upload them as separate Word documents to be printed out for the test. Use this template. So if you click on it, it's going to open up a Microsoft Word document, and all you have to do is put the description that a user would put in. You're going to type it in there. You don't need to fill out anything else. This is what the students are going to fill out. So you just type in here the same description that you put up here. So that's pretty easy. the PC indications, the user write-up, that's what you're saying the user is going to say, and then you're going to upload it. So the way it works is you've got in the notes area down here, you're going to click edit, and that's where you're going to put this information for both your breakages. So you're going to have two separate ones inside that text area for me to read on what you plan on doing. And then you're going to browse and upload two separate Word documents. You're going to open this, you're going to edit it, you're going to upload those two files. That's the first really 75% of your exam will be half of it's this one, the bigger half. A quarter of it's this, and a quarter of it is the actual breakage that you're going to do in class on May 16th. This has to be done in advance of May 16th so that I approve what you plan on doing as your breakages. So in class on the 10th, I expect you to start looking at what you plan on doing, and then the following Tuesday you should have those items done so that we can be ready to break the PCs on the class after that. So that's what you are going to do, and that's what I want you to start working on today during class.